This is our October 2025 reflection for use in councils or boards of schools who value or connect to the characteristics of the uniting church, or who are just exploring them. So why this reflection? Well, board agendas are usually full, and the pace of discussion can be brisk. That efficiency has its place, but if every meeting's only about getting through business, something important is missed. These reflections aren't about adding more work. They're about opening a small window for perspective. A reminder that governance is also about the spirit in which we lead, not just the tasks we complete. So, what's the story this month? And it's one, again, that many uniting church communities of faith will be hearing in October. The biblical reading Luke 18, verses 9 to 14, tells of two people at prayer. One of the people speaks with confidence about his good deeds, sure of his standing. And the other, weighed down by his own failings, can barely lift his eyes. Jesus says it's the second person who goes home right with God, accepted rather than dismissed. The point isn't to dismiss the other person's discipline or integrity. He fasted, he gave generously, both commendable practices in his religious context. But the story highlights the danger of letting those good habits slip into self-righteousness. The story invites us to ask whether we sometimes confuse our track record with genuine humility. It reminds us that real humility bends outward toward justice, mercy, and the widening of community, rather than inward towards pride in our own virtue. This idea shows up in other places. The call to humility in leadership is echoed widely. In Islam, taqwa is an inner vigilance, keeping ego in check, cultivating attentiveness to God and to others without boasting. In Aboriginal and Islander wisdom, leadership is validated by listening and accountability to community. The loudest voice isn't always the trusted one. In contemporary management studies, Jim Collins' Level 5 leaders are described as those who blend fierce resolve with deep humility. They don't need the spotlight. They focus on the mission and lifting others up. So across traditions, real authority is measured not by self-congratulation, but by quiet posture towards service. So what might this mean for school boards? It's regular and expected for boards to highlight their achievements. Strategic plans delivered, buildings completed, reputations enhanced. We don't need to criticise that impulse, and those achievements can be good things, but if they become the main story we tell ourselves, we risk missing blind spots. Humility in governance means being ready to say, we don't know everything, we've made mistakes, and we're still learning. That posture creates a space for honesty, for trust, and ultimately for better decisions. Two of the uniting church characteristics resonate here: addressing difficult topics with courage. Naming the limits and failures isn't weakness. It may be the first step towards wiser, more credible leadership. And the second characteristic, listening and collaborative decision making. Humility shifts us from defending our record to hearing the voices and experiences we might otherwise overlook. These characteristics remind us that a board's strength isn't only in confidence, but also in its willingness to be taught. So a few questions to sit with, not for immediate answers, but perhaps to let hover around the edges of the meeting. What do we claim as evidence of being a good board? And how might those claims blind us? Where could we admit uncertainty more openly? And what might open up if we did? Does our culture of decision-making reward humility, or does it reward silent self-assurance?